Right, for anyone who is viewing the recording, make sure you have taken test 1 math test in the red book, page 56 first. And then in 1 hour come and we're gonna be reading through the correct answers. So number 1 is A, number 2, G, number 3, D as in dog, number 4, G, number 5, E as in elephant, 6, K, 7, B as in boy, 8, H, 9, B, 10, H, 11, E, 12, F, 13, E, 14, J, 15, B, 16, H, 17, A, 18, H, 19, C, 20, H, 21, A, 22, G, 23, D, 24, H, 25, D as in dog, 26, J, 27, D, 28, G as in girl, 29, D, 30, G. So were there any of those that my pronunciation wasn't clear enough? Okay, so again, next 10 or 15 minutes, I'll check in at 10 to see if you want more time. Go back to the ones that you got wrong and see if you can figure out for yourself what went wrong or what you should have done. If you still have questions after that time, you can either ask me or type it in the chat or send it through the WhatsApp, but just let me know which problems you would like to have explained in more detail and we will send a written explanation of those. And remember, if you want to ask, somebody else is probably feeling chicken to ask. If you run out of things to do and you've got it all right and corrected, you may copy your scores into page 103 if you're curious about seeing what a test score would be, but I want you to focus on the corrections first. So what's happening is that it's recursive. It's not a straight linear. It depends on what came before. And so we have 500, and then the next birthday is this plus 200 is 700. Is this plus 200 is 900, but we're adding all of those. And so it can't just be linear. The summation of these, it's an arithmetic sequence, but it ends up being the first plus the last divided by 2. It's the average of those things, and then the number of terms is the formula you're trying to think of.
I forgot what the Thank you.
if you are feeling stuck of, well, I don't know what these are and I don't know how to get started, go ahead and drop those numbers in the chat and I'll start writing them down. All right, I see one. Oh, what was 4, 5, 6? Okay, for checking, 4 was G as in girl, 5 was E as in elephant, and 6 was K. Okay, request for 19. We've already had that one in person too. I think that's one that we may go over together. Yep, that one's on the list too. You guys agree. All right, so the first one was question 8, and that was adding matrices. I don't think we've done that yet in this class, and so especially if you've never seen them before, matrices are kind of weird. What happens is that matrices are a way of organizing a whole bunch of numbers. And so our first one, we have 9, 2, negative 4, 1. And our second one is negative 6, 8, or yeah, negative 6, 8, 7, and 6. So if we are adding the matrices, all we are doing is adding the elements of the matrix. And so we take our first element and our first element, those corresponding pieces, 9 plus negative 6, or 9 minus 6 is 3. 2 plus 8, 10, negative 4, and 7 is 3, 1 and 6 is 7. I believe we are going to be doing matrices in the future. I've taught it the past few times. We haven't done it yet with this class. But just as a quick preview, if this had been multiplication, it would not be 9 times 6. Multiplying matrices is a little bit different. You end up multiplying the first row by the first column, and so you'd take the 9 times negative 6 and the 2 times 7 and add those two pieces together. So adding, subtracting, super easy, super friendly. Just as a heads up, it doesn't work that way for multiplying, and we'll be doing that later in ACT prep. All right. This next one that lots of people had questions about was 19. And so this one's a little bit of a probability problem, and it's using that table that's up at the top. If you don't have that table, it doesn't give you enough information, and so it's one of those questions that has cumulative, use the given information on multiple questions. So by May 15th, that just has to do with the information already in the table. And Mrs. Chen has enrolled her 2 children for camp. One child was in grade 3 and the other was in grade 4. And for each grade, the names of all the children enrolled by May 15th will be entered in a drawing for a free t-shirt For each grade, one name will be randomly drawn. What is the probability that the names of both of Mrs. Chen's children will be drawn? So we need to focus on the probability of one and the probability of the other one. And so if we look at grade 3, there are 20 kids enrolled. And so she has one third grader. That gives us a 1 in 20 chance that their third grader is picked. She also has a fourth grader. The fourth grader has 15 students, and so there is a 1 in 15 chance that the fourth grader is picked. The key thing here is both. The probability of two things happening is the probability of the first thing times the probability of the second thing. And so it gets very small chance very quickly. 1 in 20, sure, maybe those are good odds. 1 in 15, those are okay, but 1 times 1 and 20 times 15, which is gonna be 300?
Yeah.
And so there is a 1 in 300 chance of them being selected, both of them. All right. That's a 0? 20?
26.
Oh, 26. In that case, we'll stop at 25 first. Couple different people had questions on 25. I'll admit I hadn't looked at this one yet. So the Department of Natural Resources is estimating the deer population in the Twin Pines County. Several months ago, DNR rangers captured, tagged, and released 109 deer. Recently, the DNR rangers captured 54 deer in the county and found that 36 of them had been tagged in the earlier capture. The DNR estimates the deer population in the county using the proportion below. So this one is just working with the proportion. If there were 36 tagged deer in the second capture out of, how many did they capture the second time? 54. And so this is the proportion of this many tagged out of the total. And you're using the proportion of, okay, how many did we tag in the original one? They tagged 108. And they're expecting the tag to be proportional to the total population again. And so it's a cross multiply 108 times 54 and divide by 36. And I honestly have no clue. Glad we already read off the right answers, because without a calculator, I can't do that one in my head. I could give you a good estimate, but. And then 26, arithmetic sequence. It can be hard if you don't remember what the words mean. Arithmetic sequence means that it's going up or down by the same amount every single time. It has a common difference. And so in the arithmetic sequence, the 10th term is 30, and the common difference is 2. What is the first term? So you could solve this straight. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces. And this term is 30. If the common difference is positive 2, that means it's going up 2 every single time. And so, working backwards, this is going to be minus 2, 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 minus 2. It's going to be 9 transitions. If there's 10 terms, there's only 9 transitions. There's 9 common differences. So what's 9 times 2? 18. And so it has a difference of 18. So we're going to take that 30 and subtract 18 to find out what was the first one. And so that's understanding just how those common differences work. You could have transformed it into a function and then found the first term, but for me, especially at that level, it's easier to just understand what it means to have an arithmetic sequence. All right. Any more questions? Again, you are welcome to ask in the WhatsApp or the chat before we leave today, and I can send them out via written word. That's probably what we will do for the last bit if we run out of time. So we are going to do the second half of this test, but Manoj wanted to give you a longer stretch of time. So we're gonna give you 45 minutes. Try to get done faster than that. That's gonna be the ideal test taking speed, but because it includes stuff like the matrices where we haven't really seen it yet, you may be slower than you want to be. And so he said to give you extra time. Oh, we did have more questions. We had 29 and 28. So, got a couple minutes. 28, among a group of 20 students, 13 are members of the math club, 11 are members of the drama club, and 9 are members of both clubs. How many of the 20 students are not members of either? So, I forgot my eraser, so I'm just kind of working with it. This one tries to be a Venn diagram problem, because we're working backwards with the idea that we know that 9 students are members of both. And so over here in the overlap, we have the both. And in those clubs, we have 13 are members of the math club. So if I put math over here, math is this entire circle, and this entire circle is 13, but 9 are already here. And so 4 are only math, not both. But the total math club is still that 13 that they told us. And then 11 are members of the drama. But again, 9 are already taken care of in our both. And so if it's 11 in drama, there's only 2 that are just drama, not anything else. And then here, 9 and 4 and 2, how many in total are going to be contained in our clubs? And so if there's 20 students total, there's 5 that are not in either. And so it's breaking down of, okay, this is both, work backwards to this is only math, this is only drama, so these are the students in the clubs. There's going to be 5 that are not. All right. I do want to give you time to get started on the second half. So I am writing down 29 and 20. If we don't have time with the group, I will send them out via the WhatsApp. All right. You may begin.
Hmm?
Like I just don't want to do it.
Honestly, the moment I saw her, like, just heard, like, there's people that just like, I don't want to do like the full with this the entire time.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure I get done with it.
yeah,
Or like, at least leave like 30 minutes.
dude, I drove here 2 hours. I sat in a car for 2 hours and I have to do this for 2 hours.
I just came from work. That's all the rest of the bitch.
Dude, that sucks.
Work 11 to 3, and then at 7 to 8, and then came here.
Dude, I was stuck behind this thing for like an hour. I'm being dead. Dude, the wheels. The wheels. I couldn't even pass him because the wheels were so big. I was like, bro. And then I'm like, you know where Wayne is? You know where Wayne is? So I finally passed him somehow because he took a right. I went left. I was going 20 over. State trooper in front of me. I'm over him. 20 over. State trooper sees me. Pulls to the right to do a U-turn. 12 cars go there. There was 2 cars. The first car got out like on the roadside. Got behind me. So it was me. The car that just was. And then the state trooper. I took a right. The car behind me took. State trooper went straight. I was like.
You think off, right?
Went the speed limit the entire way here.
I'm just trying to go home and sleep, bro. I had to wake up at like 6 a.m. this morning, and then like I went into work, and then I came back to my house for like an hour, and then went back into work.
That sucks. Dude, you know what sucks even more? I can't get a fucking job. Between like clubs and activities at school. And then this whole Sunday, I'm only available one afternoon and then Saturday. No job is gonna want me. For like 2 days a week.
So I only work like night shifts on the weekends, or like just night shifts in general, and then on Sunday I work in the morning, so I can at least get some money, because they never schedule me to them during the week. They only schedule me on like the worst days ever.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
so many bugs happening. Oh no. There was like an infestation, like, so I work at Culver's, and like across the street there was like it was like a horrid, like, you know how like it's sort of like, there's like a lot, there's like a cloud sort of, it was like that, and it was like close to the ground too, I was like, ooh, it was like a fest.
That's why you need a flamethrower, bro.
And then it just burn all over.
The first time I came here on the drive back, I couldn't see out of my windshield.
Oh, there's always like, my dad has like, I don't know why, but like, every time I drive on, there's like barely any bugs. But when I drive his car on the highway, it just hits the bugs like 24/7.
Yeah.
My car's just like barely any bugs. And these cars are just like covered. It's bad.
Not gonna lie, when you ask her a question, she makes you feel like a dumbass.
I mean, kind of, but not really.
Like, I asked her a question, I was like, I forgot the equation to it. And she was like, so this is this. I asked her, can you give me the equation? And she was like, no, she explained it to me. I was like, dude.
Is Dakota Valley still like a public school?
What do you mean?
Like, you have to pay to be there, or?
No, it's free.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's always been public school.
Okay. Is it like really, really rich?
Well,
Yeah,
the high
it's-
school is, but the middle school and elementary are really like they're not good.
I've heard stories of like people in like, you get like really good food on like Fridays or something.
No, but they give like for lunch every Monday there's Pizza Hut. Yeah,
What?
yeah, but our food sucks out of that. Yeah,
We get pizza every day, but it's like, they bring it out of the freezer and cook it in front of you, and then it's bad.
our school only cares about football, for being honest.
That's pretty
And I
much,
hate to say that, but like they don't pay anything else.
and to be honest, Dakota Valley football's not really that good.
So they're okay.
East only cares about football and basketball, even though robotics is actually like moving all this stuff.
I have no idea what the schools you're talking about.
Oh yeah, you go to like Omaha or something.
I go to Columbus High School. Our school cares about our football team, but our football team sucks. It's mostly our coaches play call. Bro, so this past Friday, we played in like whoever won that game would go to playoffs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our coach on 3rd and 7 called a halfback screen.
The screen.
I was like, bro, there's no way. And our O-line was already terrible, so why would you send him out there to block from the run?
But just put like an entire game online for the Omaha.
I think we were playing Lincoln East.
We played Des Moines Lincoln last Friday. It was our homecoming game. We destroyed them. It was like 58 or something.
All right. It has not been the 45 minutes, but the body language in person says that you are ready to go over things and get answers and answer questions. Is that all right with people online? Don't want to rush you, but it's that balancing act of help versus time to work. All right. We're getting thumbs up from online, so I will take it. All right, we started with question 31 for grading. 31 is B. 31 B. 32 J. 33 A. 34 H. 35 C. 36 K. 37 B. 38 H. 39 D. 40 G. 41 B. 42 H. 43 D. 44 G. 45 B. 46 F. 47 B. 48 J. 49 A. 50 J. 51 D. 52 J. 53 E. 54 H. 55 A. 56 J. 57 E. 58 K. 59 A. 60 J. Anything that you need me to return to? All right. Give you a couple minutes to look back at what you have questions on.
What was 58 again?
58 is K. All right, I have on my notes that I have 20 and 29 from the previous section. So what questions do you have? I'm opening up the chat again so you can just tell me.
36.
36? Just 36? Wow. Do you guys rock this? That's cool. Go you guys. All right, we have 45, 48, 37. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and jump back to 20, and then we'll go from there. So 20 says you drove 18 miles in 20 minutes at a constant speed and did not exceed the speed limit given in miles per hour. Among the following, which is the lowest that the speed limit could have been? So,
Which one is this?
number 20. So the easiest way to deal with this is to get to miles per hour. So if it's 20 minutes, 18 miles in 20 minutes, how many of those intervals would it take to get to the hour? 3. And so you can just take that 18 miles times 3. And it's something slightly less than 54. And so 54 is the minimum speed you'd have to drive. But they didn't offer us that one. And so in order to make that 18 miles, we can't go slower than that. And so we've got to bump up to the next faster, and that's where the 55 comes from. Okay, so next on the list was 29. And the idea is to increase the mean of 7 numbers by 4. So 7 numbers is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're adding them all up. And we're dividing by 7. That's our mean, right? And so if we want our mean to get 4 larger, then every single one of these numbers needs an extra 4 to lift the mean up that far. And so we would have to be 7 times 4, or increase by 28 up at the top. And so in order to lift an average by 1 point, every individual piece would increase by 1 point, or one of them could just throw the average by being amazingly, awesomely big. But overall, it has to increase by the number you're dividing by times the amount you want to increase in the top of that fraction. All right. I think our next one in the count is 36. Go ahead and tell me or drop a message in the chat if I'm wrong, and we'll go back, but we're going to move on to 36. So 36 says Malik will spend a total of $30 before sales tax on X bags of marbles and Y cars purchased at the prices shown on the partial receipt. So we're going back to that table or data set on the previous page. One of the following line segments graphed in the standard XY coordinate plane contains points for all possible combinations of X and Y. Which one? So we're spending $30 on X marbles and Y cards. And each bag of marbles is costing $2. And each car is costing $3. And so what we're doing is working with the X and Y intercepts. If we bought no cars, how many bags of marbles would we be buying? 15. And so our X-intercept is at 15. If we bought no marbles, all cars, our Y-intercept would be at 10. And so that is our line. Dusting off the old algebra. A long time ago, Algebra 2 used to have a whole lot of maximization, minimization problems, and those would use problems like that. I haven't seen it with Algebra 2 as much, and so it's an older skill that hasn't gotten used in recent.
Isn't that just economics?
Yeah,
PPC graph?
yeah. All right, so next up was 37. So we have geometry, right triangle.
What was the answer for this one?
Oh, it would have been the K, the one with the
The 37.
Oh, 37? We haven't done it yet. The original answer, just from the key 37, the answer was B. And we're going to talk about why. So, we are told it's an altitude, so that's giving us the right angle. We know that this is 30, and we know that this is 20. So, we're trying to find this height right here. So because it is a right triangle, and because we have this setup here, understand that the large triangle is 30, 60, 90, and the two smaller triangles inside are also 30, 60, 90 triangles. And so this is 60 degrees, this is 30 degrees, that's 90 degrees. And so beyond knowing that fact, the reality is we're shrinking down to here. If you don't remember the 30, 60, 90 triangle, on this one I would be using like trig, go sine, cosine, tangent, and then run the answers through the calculator to try and find a match. That's the backdoor method if you don't remember the special right triangles. But special right triangles are the ones that have the 1, 2, 1 square root of 3 relationship. And so if this is 20, what's this bottom side going to be? 10. And if this is 10, what's the medium side going to be? 10 square roots of 3. And so that's where that one comes from. Again, if you don't remember the special right triangle relationship, I would be using sine, cosine, tangent and getting some sort of decimal answer and then running those options through the calculator to try and match the decimal. And so that would be the backdoor solve if you're scrambling. You can always find a way to make an educated guess. All right. We had 40. So for real numbers, x and y such that x is in between 0 and 5. Where'd it go? I lost it. Okay. And y is greater than 9, or equal to 9. Which of the the expression x plus y over y can have which of the following values? Well, can it be 0? So start eliminating as best you can. Can it be 10 over 9? Yeah, because if we took 9 over 9, using that bottom number to give us our y, all we have to do is find out, well, we would need 1. And can 1 work? yes, then that is the one that works. Working with it, if we look ahead to H, it has 5 on the bottom, but we said that y is bigger than or equal to 9, so that doesn't work. And so just working with the solid piece that matches one variable, and then look at the combo piece, is how I would tackle that. All right. I am flying solo today, if you haven't caught on to that yet, and so I'm gonna have to go finish off the regular class and get their final answers. So I have 45 and 48 that I will send out answers via WhatsApp. Is there anything else that I missed?
I can show 45 if you want.
Okay, if you would be willing to, that would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So we have student volunteer who is willing to show 45 while I go close off the last class, so thank you so much.
So 45 was 4. Okay, she gave me the bad one. Plus u squared over 2. So you gotta get the same denominator, so you either have to multiply by w on top and on bottom, so it'd be 4w plus 2 over the same denominator, 4w squared. Oh wait, yeah, that's about it. Do you understand that? If not, I can simplify it more.